Hi everyone, welcome to Facebook Live today. Welcome to my live video in the Cook with Janie kitchen. Today I'm making for you a fabulous fish curry. It's from the Indian book that I wrote with my very good friend Rosie Laljee, Fast and Easy Indian Cooking. And this recipe has actually been spotted by several people in the last couple of weeks, and so I've actually decided that it would be great to cook it for you today. So looking forward to sharing this with you. Welcome everybody as you come on. And we are going to just go through the ingredients first. This is a really super easy, quick curry. So you're going to use 2 garlic cloves, just a bit of shallot or onion if you haven't got shallots, some fresh coriander, 20 grams, 2 to 3 fresh green cayenne chilies. And cayenne is important because then you know what kind of heat you're aiming for. If you don't know, you can always start with 1 and sprinkle some more on the top at the end when you finish cooking it. And some coconut oil, 30 grams, cumin seeds, half a teaspoon, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, and 12 curry leaves. Curry leaves are kind of interesting little things. Mine are ones that I bought on a stem. I bought lots of them. And I froze the ones that I didn't use that day. I popped them in a bag in the freezer, and you can use fresh or frozen curry leaves. Very convenient, and it saves waste. A level teaspoon of fine sea salt, 200 grams of creamed coconut or coconut butter, 100 grams of water, 600 grams of firm white fish fillets, and half a lime, the juice, and 100 grams of fresh ripe tomatoes. The tomatoes you can use or not use as you feel like on the day. I've got some today, so yeah, I'm going to be using those. And John, my lovely helper, is taking away the cookbook stand, and I'm going to keep the ingredients there just to keep you informed of what they are during the demo. So really, really easy curry recipe today. And what we're going to start with is we're going to start with some coriander, fresh coriander. My herb guy, fruit and vegetable guy, Martin, is wonderful when it comes to knowing how to keep your herbs fresh. And he said when you buy your herbs, cut them again on the stems, just cut them a little bit shorter. Oh, they're all draping all over the place here, falling all over. And I'm going to go to the scales and weigh in 20 grams of fresh coriander. Then after you've rinsed your coriander with the stems cut, pop it in a bag, maybe with a piece of paper towel, kitchen roll, or a piece of paper, a tea towel, kitchen towel wrapped around it. That will give you a really nice little bit of moisture to keep those fresh inside a plastic bag. And they last for about a week. If you pop them into a glass of water and you have enough room in your fridge to do that, then they'll last a really long time. So we've got 22 grams. If you love coriander, you could put in some more. I've got 60 grams of shallots here. I've got 2 green chilies, and I've got my 2 garlic cloves. So I'm just going to pop all those in. There we go. And then we're going to add some coconut oil. I've got 2 little jugs here today, so I'm going to make sure that I get the coconut oil. And we're adding 30 grams of coconut oil here. So here we go. I'll just turn that around so you can see. About 30 grams, that's perfect. And we're going to chop and saute this. Obviously, if you don't have a Thermomix, you can chop it all up really finely before you start, and then you're ready to go and just add your coconut oil in a frying pan and saute it off until the onion and shallot and garlic all soften, which is what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to chop it for 5 seconds. Might even not take that long at speed 7. There we are. And I'm just going to check and see what that has done. And I've got my handy Thermomix spatula to scrape it down here, and I'll just show you here. John's off in another room right now, so I can show you inside the bowl. There we are. Lovely, just very nicely chopped straight away. Sorry, I've moved the lights down. And here we go. I'm just going to scrape down and do that again once or twice more until we get it to be a fine and fairly evenly chopped mixture. And it's got the oil on it already, which is nice and easy. So let's just go up to speed 5. You can hear it chopping there. So I did that for 2 seconds that time. And we've got a nice, fairly evenly chopped mixture. A few of those coriander stems, so I will do it the 3rd time. I'll show it after the next one. John's got the mirror at the ready. So here we are. Okay, so that should be chopped enough for us now. Welcome everybody who's coming on, and welcome to everybody who will be watching this later. Right, John, are you able to just show that? Oh, you want me to put it back? Got to get it all coordinated here. So there we are. Lovely. So that's a nice evenly chopped mixture. We're just going to saute that. And you can do that in a Thermomix all at the same time. You can obviously do it in a pan on the stove as well. So we're going to set this for 5 minutes and turn it to 100 and speed spoon, and I'll just check. It is actually, yes, 5 minutes Varoma. So that's the highest temperature on the Thermomix that you can go to without doing special recipes that come with your Thermomix on cookie dough. And speed spoon is the really gentle stirring speed that is really slow. It's like standing at your frying pan and just stirring really, really gently. And interestingly, I can hear that starting to sizzle already. It's pretty quick when there's that little in the Thermomix. Our time allowance of 5 minutes is actually because the Thermomix is heating up as well as doing the cooking. So this curry is super easy, and the book that I've got is wonderful. It's full of delicious recipes, and I think that you'll really enjoy this one today. I'll just show the book again. So here we are. Fast and easy Indian cooking, really lovely, and oh my gosh, delicious. If you go to my recipe blog, cookwithjanie.com, you can sign up, and if you subscribe for recipes this month, you can get a discount code in the email that you'll get to confirm your subscription. So enjoy that, and if you decide after this recipe today that you'd like to get a copy, that's the place to go. So here we are. I can hear it sizzling, and I'm just chatting away because actually instead of being tied to the stove and watching really, really carefully to make sure that the garlic doesn't burn and the herbs aren't overdone, I can actually do something else. So I'm chatting to you. So this is really, really easy. I love the fact that you've got hands off when you're cooking with the Thermomix, and I could be getting out all of my other ingredients ready as well. And actually that is what I did earlier, and normally when I'm cooking it for us, for our family dinner, then I would be getting out these next ingredients again. And so I'll just move it around so you can see. I've got ground turmeric, I've got my sea salt, and I've got my cumin seeds there, and my curry leaves. So that's rather nice. And also, if you like your curries really hot, this is sort of a mild to medium, depending on how strong those cayenne chilies are or how fiery they are. If you like it really strong, or maybe one person in your family does, then make sure that you buy a red chili, because this can actually be fabulous for adding a bit of spicy heat and beautiful color to your dish. So wonderful to do. And here we are. Oh, still got 2 minutes left to do. Chat, chat, chat. I've had a lot of fun last week. I was on holiday from cooking, from doing recipes on my Facebook Lives, and I ended up just chatting to you either in the kitchen or in the garden when it was a lovely day. And I hope that lots of you saw those chats, because I was talking about how to save money while you're cooking, mainly with your Thermomix, or just anyway, by hand or with other equipment. It's great to be able to save money when you're cooking and when you're on holiday. And really, really enjoyable. This recipe today, by the way, is gluten-free and dairy-free. So it's really, really easy to do. It'll suit all of the special diets that you might be cooking for, but it does have coconut in it. There are some people who find coconut a challenge, but most people are pretty okay with it actually. So just got another few seconds. Oh, John, you have a comment or a question for me?
You might like to hear these comments because you probably won't have time to read them on the screen, but Rachel had her Indian book out at the weekend, planning some meals.
Yeah.
And Wendy made a very nice comment about the book. It's a beautiful book. The illustrations are colourful and mouth-watering.
Yes. Lovely. That's wonderful.
For those who have the old edition,
yes,
that's nice to know that there's lots of illustrations in this new copy.
Yes, beautiful photography, wonderfully done, and it really does make you want to eat the recipes off the page. That's for sure. Off all the pages, every single recipe has beautiful photography done for it. Yes, John.
You might like to know that Australia is watching, where there are a lot of people who have the old Indian cookbook,
yes,
who might now be interested in the new version of it.
Right.
I mean, you might want to comment on what the differences are.
Well, this recipe, for instance, is a brand new recipe for the book, and as I said, every recipe has beautiful food photography, and also all of the recipes have been improved. Can you believe it? It's hard to believe that they could be improved, but Rosie and I worked really hard together and made sure that every recipe was beautifully easy and beautifully flavorful. So yes, you might be interested in getting a new copy.
And particularly because when you wrote the second edition, you had about 10 more years of experience.
Absolutely.
Cooking all the recipes.
Yep, absolutely. So now I'm going to add my curry leaves and my turmeric, my sea salt and my cumin seeds. And what you want to do when you do this is you want to avoid the blade unit at the bottom of your Thermomix, because otherwise your spices and sea salt, your seasonings, just sit above the blade rather than getting cooked. So we're just going to give that about a minute or two, and then I'll tell you a funny story. Okay, so the funny story is, after I did all the chopping at the beginning, I should have added those ingredients right then for the 5 minutes of sizzling and sauteing. But anyway, that's fine. If you're absent-minded or you're chatting away to friends like I am today with all of you, you can be distracted. And I find that almost every single time, I don't think I've ever had once that I haven't been able to fix a recipe with my Thermomix. And of course, you would just do this by hand on the stove if you're doing it in a saucepan. You'd be stirring a little bit longer, but that's all right. So hopefully this will just cook out the spices beautifully. As a matter of fact, not hopefully, actually, it totally will cook out the spices beautifully. And then we're going to add our creamed coconut and some water. And this is creamed coconut. Let me show you here. So it's just a block of basically blended coconut, blended fresh coconut. And you can see that there was some fat in there. That's the coconut oil that has separated out. I actually bought this like this, but I've often made coconut butter. And on cookwithjanie.com there's a really easy recipe for coconut butter. So, in
the recipe, I think, do you suggest chopping up the?
If it's really hard, yes, chop it up into smaller pieces. This has been sitting out for about an hour. It's quite a warm day, and it's warm in my kitchen today, so I'm actually not worried about putting it in like this. So yes, that's a very good point, John. So here we go. We've got an extra 2 minutes of cooking today because of me. Oh well, that's fine. Now, Saria Abdullah, I can see, has just made a lovely comment about fish curries, yummy. Well, Saria is a fabulous cook and author of recipe books as well. So, yes, nice compliment. Rightio, so here we go. I'm just going to add in my 200 grams of creamed coconut. And I'm going to add in 100 grams of water. So we'll go to the scales. It's sizzling away beautifully here. What did I say? Did I say 100 grams? 100 grams, thank you. There we are. Lovely. So here we go, and then we're just going to do 5 minutes. So say goodbye to the scales, and we'll go back to 5 minutes here, and this will cook out our sauce.
And if you didn't have a Thermomix, Janie?
If you didn't have a Thermomix, you'd be adding this into the saucepan, and you'd be cooking it to make sure on a really fairly gentle heat, to make sure it actually doesn't overcook your coconut cream, because your creamed coconut, as opposed to coconut cream or coconut butter, actually can separate out and just become gritty bits in oil if you boil it. So you want to be able to be in control of the temperature. It's just below the boiling point. So simmering or even just barely simmering is great. So what's going to happen here is that's going to come up to temperature and be finished off as the sauce. And then I'm going to show you here. I've actually got my fish fillets. Oh, lift this lovely big cast iron frying pan over. And I've got them here. I've pan fried them. Can I show? No, I think...
You can tip that slightly, can't you? No. There we are. Yeah, yeah.
I'm always worried when John says tip something. So I've got a little bit of coconut oil in here. I use 2 tablespoons to pan fry these fish fillets. I seasoned them on both sides with a little bit of salt and pepper before I pan fried them. And I just literally, I turned them over because I knew I was going to be doing it at 1 minute to 1 before I started this Facebook Live today. And so I wanted the residual heat in the pan to finish off the cooking. And what I've also done is I've actually steamed some basmati rice. So I've got that beautifully steamed, and that is going to be served with my fish curry. And while I was steaming, I took advantage of the steam, and I actually did I steamed some broccoli pieces and some green beans, and because of the delay I actually popped them into my bowl of iced water just so that they would keep their color beautifully. And I've got lovely bits of green here to add to our curry to make it look beautiful. And I will lift it up, John, don't worry. He's making all sorts of funny signs to me to make sure that I lift it up. So this is what you would be doing while your sauce is finishing cooking. If you're actually cooking, oh yes, the Malay Kitchen Cookbook. Thank you very much, Saria. That's Saria's beautiful cookbook, which I love. So this is actually cooking for its 5 minutes. If you were stirring and looking after it on the stove, obviously you'd make the sauce, and then you would afterwards pan fry your fish fillets, because you need to be paying close attention to both of those things, that's for sure. So what I've got here is I've got our lovely dish of pan fried fish fillets, beautiful bits of broccolini, because the broccoli's gone long and leggy at this time of the year here in the UK, and I've got my green beans, and they're brightly colored and beautiful, and with the turmeric that I've added to the sauce, it's actually going to make that sauce a lovely yellowy bit. So what am I looking at?
You've got some...
Oh, I've got some bits on my hands.
Yeah. Yeah. And you might want to comment, in your case the pan is cold, So
yes, in my case, the pan is cold. It's just barely warm, actually. And because I literally finished doing these fish fillets about 30 seconds before 1 o'clock. And so what I'm going to do after we have finished this video is I will put the sauce onto the fish fillets. Then I'll garnish it with the bits of tomato. You could garnish with bits of sliced red chili as well if you wanted to. And then I'm going to serve it on the rice. But I'll heat it through nicely in the pan. So John, yes?
Yeah, an observation I'd make is that, of course, most, well, certainly Indian restaurants in this country, it's meat dishes, it's lamb dishes, chicken dishes.
Yes.
They might occasionally have one fish dish.
Yes.
I mean, this is such a nice contrast to, you know, the typical restaurant meals that you
absolutely.
might get.
And it's very light. It's lovely. It tastes light. It tastes healthy. It is healthy. It's got beautiful natural coconut oil and creamed coconut in it. Fish, a white fish, and the vegetables, really light and easy. You can serve it with a salad if you didn't even want to have the rice. So you've got lots of choices here. We're at 90 degrees and only have a few seconds left on our cooking time for the sauce. So when it goes ding-a-ling-ding, we'll know it's ready. And of course, if you're cooking it in a pan on the stove, your sauce, then you'll see that it's ready because it will have come together and it'll look quite beautiful. So there we are.
You want the mirror for
Move
this
that. Yes, that would be very nice. Yeah, lift up the mirror and we'll have a look at it in the pan. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. You can see how glossy and lovely that is. That's it. Great. Thank you, John. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this lovely sauce over and around my fish fillets. And the vegetables. I've gone silent because it smells so good. I should keep talking, of course, because I'm talking to you. But it is just delicious. It smells amazingly wonderful. And I hope that the people that have asked to see this recipe are here enjoying it or will catch up later. It is a wonderful and very easy recipe to do. So there we are. And with my Thermomix self-clean function, I'll actually be able to let the Thermomix bowl wash itself, which is fantastic. I love that bit. And here we are. Here we've got our lovely fish curry, and it is ready to go. Actually ready just to heat up. Oh, actually, hang on a sec. I've forgotten my little bits of red tomato. Just for a little bit of extra color in here. There we are. I'm feeling quite artistic today. There. And of course, depending on how much coriander you put in, you'll either get a more yellow sauce if you put in less coriander. If your family doesn't like it, you can adjust it to what your family does like. John, do you want to get the mirror and lift that up here?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
it might be really good to look at it that way.
And I see you've got some lime pieces over there.
Oh yes. You can also squeeze some lime juice over it. Thank you for that. I'm a bit discombobulated today. That's all right. Here we go. Lovely little squeeze of lime juice. That just brings out the flavor in the coconut sauce and in the fish fillets themselves too. And it looks totally beautiful here.
If you slide it forward, Jenny, slide it forward.
All right.
Is that in the right place?
That is in the right place, yes. Rather wonderful. It is my fabulous fish curry. In the cookbook, it's called Machalee Nariyal, which means fish in coconut sauce. And thanks everyone for coming on. It's been lovely to see you all, and it does look delicious. It's wonderful. Thanks, Lisa. Okie dokie. Bye all.